Good morrow, nerds! And since I have finally decided what to call these Patreon exclusive videos, welcome to the thelarphouse workshop. This month I am going to be showing you guys how I made Willow's wand from the College of Wizardry video and event. The Sonic Unicorn Wand. I will show you how I made it light up at the end and look like actual magic. I already had this toy from Amazon. It's a build-your-own sonic screwdriver. You can just it's got interchangeable pieces, so I had that lying around. And then I also have been experimenting with a subscription box called Tinker Crate. It's sort of meant for like younger kids, teaching them basics of electronics and engineering. I thought it could be cool to sort of experiment with and cannibalize to turn into cool art props, and I was right. This month they sent out a fiber optic constellation kit, and you can see there I have a bunch of fiber optics tied up with a zip tie and the taken apart sonic screwdriver wand bit already. And I just decided, I got, a stroke of genius, and I decided to take my unicorn wand mold here that you could see. I've marked about where I want to fill it up to. That's just below the actual handle. I've taken the fiber optic bits, and I'm just trimming them so that they're a little bit gradual and all of the ends don't clump up together at the end, because I really wanted that sort of magical twinkly sparkle effect. So I didn't want all of the light to be in one clump at the very end of the wand. Otherwise I might as well just put an LED in there, right? And so the resin I'm using to cast the unicorn horn portion of the wand is the Smooth On Crystal Clear series. I have used auto body pigments that are color shifting and a little bit of glitter. And so I've pre-mixed the pigment into one part of the resin, and the part that I'm pouring in now is the hardener. So that way if you have a short pot life for your stuff, you don't waste time adding in the pigments. I like to have as much work time as possible in case things go wrong. And they, inevitably do. I think this stuff, the pot life, is something like between 8 and 15 minutes. I don't exactly remember, but it's got a cure time of about 90 minutes, so it's really fast curing. And so if you want to degas it, you really do want to pre-mix the pigment into one part of the mixture. That's what I am doing here. And yes, I just, I take the MacGyver approach to a lot of my workshop methods. I've just rubber banded together along the mold to keep it closed. So I didn't really want resin all over the handle part, so I did just sort of pry it open and pour it in at an angle like this. Just fine. And once it was about full, what's a little bit off camera here, I'm just making sure that there are no places where the resin is going to leak out and just drain. But I'm taking the fiber optic bundle I have and just sticking it in through the end of the wand till it's touching the bottom. Honestly, I should have degassed this resin mixture beforehand, but I didn't. This was about 3 in the morning or so, literally the night before I left for College of Wizardry. In true Cheyenne fashion, you get that midnight stroke of what you think is genius, but is really just creating a lot of work for yourself for just some very usually small reason that'll only make a difference to you. But I'm just jamming the fiber optic bits down in there, and I'm kind of swishing it around a little bit because I really want the resin to get in between the little fiber optic fibers, and I don't want it to have a whole lot of air bubbles in there. So I'm just sort of making sure that it's well integrated into that resin, especially since it has a pretty short pot life. And here we have about at least 2 hours later. I always like to give it a little more time, but I'm taking it out of the mold, and it looks pretty good. That nice translucent lavender. It'll be great for a light up effect. Now the thing about most resins, even if they say they have a really fast cure time, it will still take them many days to possibly a whole week to fully cure. Which means that even though it is well past the 90-minute cure time, this is going to be rather bendy until it is fully cured in about a couple days to a week. Alright, doing a wee test here with the light up mechanism. I'm just putting it on the end here, but look at it! It's sparkles! Okay. Now here, in the sonic screwdriver kit, all of the pieces have the male-female attachment bits, you know, and I wanted to attach that to the end of the horn so that it fits into the existing sonic screwdriver portion of the wand properly. So I just made a mold of it real quick, and I'm using Smoothcast 65D, which is a fast-setting, semi-rigid resin. I use it all the time. It's pretty versatile. And I've brushed in some gold dust beforehand. It's a pretty easy way to color your castings without wasting a lot of pigment by coloring the whole thing, and without having to paint it so much afterwards. And you can see all the air bubbles popping out, and the cure. So once that is all ready to go, on the original toy, this part directly touches the light up bit. I'm gonna drill a hole in it so that the fiber optic bundle is also directly touching the little light up mechanism within the toy. So here's that, and I made it a little bit off center because that's just how the fiber optic bits, they're also a little bit off center. I'm just testing that out. I use this stuff to attach pretty much anything to anything. It's probably my favorite glue epoxy. It smells horrific, but it's very effective. It works on a wide variety of materials. But this is just what I'm going to use to attach that little gold piece to the horn. Usually I thicken it up into a sort of a paste by adding Cabasil, but I didn't do that this time because I didn't want to risk messing with the way the light would affect the fiber optic bits. And this stuff, it says it cures in about 5 minutes. It does take longer than 5 minutes to totally cure. Not that much longer. It's definitely like you can stop clamping things at about 5 minutes, but it's not handleable at 5 minutes. So that's the thing that I've discovered. Now I'm just taking a razor blade and cutting off all of the excess fiber optic bits. Because the cool thing about casting this little piece is that since I've cast that piece and cut them to be flush, it is going to be exactly the length it needs to touch the light up bit here. So this is like a cool steampunk toy thing. I'm just gonna attach that. I ended up epoxying this together later just because I figured why not? It's not like I'm ever gonna need to dismantle it totally. So here it is, all epoxied together. Willow's Sonic Unicorn Wand. I literally can't stop playing with this thing. It's probably my favorite prop I've ever made at this point, honestly. So thank you very much for watching the thelarphouse workshops. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys have no idea how much that support helps and how much it means. So let me know what other kind of workshop experimentation you guys would like to see. I have a wide variety of materials at my disposal. So let's go all mad scientists here. Let's do it. See you guys next time.